know this already, but these seminars would not be possible without you. So thank you for your attendance. Your confidence in what we do at Landaas Company certainly does not go unnoticed, and we really do appreciate your continued trust and loyalty. I'm curious, though, how many in the audience today have been with the firm for at least a decade? Show of hands. Keep them up if it's been 20 years. Anybody here for 25? Well, thank you. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Steve Giles. I'm a Senior Vice President at Landaas Company, and this month marks my 26th year anniversary with the firm. I'm one of the few employees who can actually lay claim to having joined last century. Bob Landaas hired me in 1999 when I relocated to Milwaukee with my wife, Janine. Janine is from the state, and she wanted to be closer to her aging, soon-to-be retired parents. Now, my move from the West Coast to the Fresh Coast meant that I gave up the cold, rainy, overcast winters of Seattle to get the colder, snowier, albeit sunnier winters of Wisconsin. Instead of living by Puget Sound, I now have Lake Michigan. Instead of smoked salmon, it was Friday fish fry. And I said goodbye to Seattle nice, but was welcomed, obviously, with Midwestern charm. For those of you that are curious about my sports allegiances, don't worry. I'm rooting for the Packers, the Brewers, the Bucks, and the Badgers. Life, I was finding, is full of change. Now, it wasn't long before Janine and I had kids, 3 in total, and I was calling Wisconsin home. Fast forward 26 years. Last month, we moved our youngest off to college. My next big milestone might be my own retirement, but that seems like such a long way off. I know I'll be there, but that's kind of what brings me to why you are here today. Quick show of hands, although I think I know the answer already. Who's already retired? Or wants to retire soon, all right? So either you know this now or you soon will find out, but retirement is one of the biggest changes that you will experience. For decades, your days were shaped by work and responsibility, right? Earning, saving, raising families. Now that retirement offers you that freedom, there's also some new responsibilities. You need to make sure that your hard-earned resources last. You need to make sure that your health, both physical and mental, last. And you need to ensure that your families are prepared for the future. For many of you, retirement is the first time in decades that your lives are not dictated by work, but instead by the priorities that you choose for yourselves and your loved ones. That freedom is deeply rewarding, but it also requires forethought. So my comments today are threefold. 1, I want to help you focus on the best possible retirement. 2, I want to encourage you to create clarity for yourselves and your heirs regarding your assets. And 3, to urge you to include your kids in that process. All right? Because there's going to be a point when you're no longer here, or you're not going to be able to help guide them. So planning does not stop the day that you leave work, it just shifts. When most people think about retirement and financial planning, they often focus on the working years, saving, investing, planning. But retirement itself demands careful management, balancing that enjoyment today for future security. The idea of holistic retirement planning is not new, but understanding it will help you through this new transition. At Landaas Company, we have helped thousands of retirees with this new transition. We recognize that at the forefront is this spending with confidence, right? Many worry about running out of money, spending down their assets. My job is to remind people that it's not about living frugally, but deliberately. A good plan gives you the confidence to feel comfortable spending your money without running out. You also need to prioritize your health. Good health is the foundation of a good retirement. Take Janine's mom, for example. She's an avid biker, and at age 83, she just finished a 700-mile bicycle tour across Wisconsin with other like-minded cyclists. So staying active through biking, walking, golf, pickleball, whatever you enjoy, is going to help keep your healthcare costs down and your quality of life up. Another important theme, structure and purpose. Without the rhythm of a workday, some retirees feel adrift. Fill your time with hobbies. Fill your time with volunteering or just learning so that you can create meaning and connection. right? Hobbies keep you active. Volunteering is rewarding. And learning engages your mind. My parents, now both 75, have been avid travelers for the last decade since my dad slowed down at work. They were always looking forward to that next big vacation. And for my dad, a lot of it was as much about researching each trip as it was about the trip itself. So routine promotes purpose, and purpose is fuel for your fulfillment. Finally, staying socially connected. I can't stress this enough, but relationships are vital. Friends, clubs, community activities, and of course family time, especially with your grandchildren, help to combat loneliness and to keep us engaged mentally and emotionally. Retirement is about more than money. At Landaas Company, we know that a fulfilling retirement requires balancing your financial security with mental and physical health, social connections, and a sense of purpose. Of course, living well today is only half the story. What about tomorrow when you're not here? At Landaas Company, we recognize that there is another side to retirement planning that too many retirees overlook, push off, or outright ignore, and that's your estate. Full disclosure, we're not attorneys, but we have seen firsthand how estate planning, or lack thereof, can affect families. It's not just about dividing your assets. It's about creating clarity. It's about reducing stress for yourself and your loved ones. And it's about making sure that your wishes are honored. That means keeping your will, your powers of attorney, and your healthcare directives up to date. Review your beneficiaries regularly. Simplify, combine accounts where possible. And most importantly, leave clear instructions for your loved ones when you're no longer here. I don't want to put anyone on the spot, so don't raise your hand, but consider the following. How many of you share financial responsibilities equally with your partner? I ask because I've had too many meetings with surviving spouses who feel lost. They're unsure where income is coming from. They don't know how bills are getting paid. Talking with your partner, talking with your children, talking with your loved ones about finances is an act of care. And if you think those conversations might be awkward or confusing, let us help. We know you, we know your situation, and we would be happy to facilitate that conversation with your family. Another question, and this one I'm going to require audience participation. How many of you have served as an executor of an estate, most likely your parents? Now keep your hands up if you would tell me that that experience was completely stress-free. Okay, for most it's challenging, right? So now imagine your children in that position. Would they be ready? Estate planning is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to your family. Janine's father, she recently met with him. He had to update his estate plan because her stepmother passed away last summer. When he visited with his attorney to make the changes, he wanted to make sure Janine was there so that she could understand his wishes in his estate plan. He was updating her to trustee. He wanted her to be a power of attorney. It gave her a chance to ask questions so that she knew what was going on. If you guys have made a trust, if you've got powers of attorney, if you have an executor, do those people know their role in your estate plan? Conversations about your estate matter and involving your children now can provide clarity on your wishes and reduce conflict. It can prepare them for the responsibility of serving for an executor, serving as a trustee, or serving as a power of attorney. And it can teach by example. Show your kids what responsible estate planning looks like by including them in the process. Now, I know it can feel private for some or a burden for others, but silence often creates a bigger problem than an honest, thoughtful conversation ever will. Do not put your children or your loved ones in the position of simultaneously grieving your death while cursing your lack of planning. All right. Now, don't misinterpret my comments today for your kids to write your will, right? And involving family does not necessarily mean that you're going to tell them every detail about your investments and bank accounts. But simple steps do make a big difference. Tell your family where your important documents are kept, right? Or better yet, just give them a copy. This includes your will, your trust documents, your powers of attorney for health and property. Let them know where you bank. Let them know who manages your investments. And if they do have those powers of attorney for property or finance, does your bank and or Landaas Company have a copy? While you may have taken the time to execute that power of attorney, we can't talk to them unless we have a copy on file. Knowing us and knowing that they can turn to us will help your family understand your wishes. So involving kids, right? It lets you explain a lot of things that they may question afterwards. Tell them why you made decisions regarding charity now. Tell them why you made decisions regarding family property now. Give them a chance to weigh in on family heirlooms. Consider holding a family meeting. All right, show of hands. Who here has already had a family meeting to discuss their estate plans with their family? That's great, because in reality, most haven't. Okay, quick show of hands. Who here is going to leave today and set up a family meeting to have an estate plan with their family? Everybody should raise their hands. Right. Ideally, those meetings should eventually include your attorney or your advisor. Right? We have found that a great way to involve your adult children in this process is to introduce them to the professionals that you have enlisted. And if you think that your family is ready for those conversations, give us a call. We're ready to meet them. Another suggestion is to encourage your children to start saving for their own retirements, assuming that they haven't already. We can help them the same way that we have been helping you, so do not keep us a secret. The more familiar that your heirs are with the ins and outs of investing, especially with the rules surrounding retirement accounts, the easier it's going to be for them to help settle your estate. Right? These simple actions can provide reassurances for you and confidence for them. Overall, retirement is about more than financial independence. It's about living fully today while leaving a legacy of clarity, peace, and harmony for the people that you love. Embrace the change that you know is inevitable. Janine and I have now moved all 3 of our kids off to college. Each one was hard for different reasons, but we knew they'd be okay because we had prepared them for the change that we knew was coming. Incidentally, we are now dealing with what most refer to as being empty nesters. So if any of you have some advice for me in those regards, please see me afterwards. But no matter where you are in this journey right now, I know that with the right mindset and proper planning, that you will be okay. Whether that is embracing the change that comes with moving your kids to college, to launching a retirement, to preparing your families for a smooth transition of your estate. Trust yourself, trust your loved ones, and trust the professionals that you surround yourself with. Our role is to help you live the retirement that you have earned and to ensure that your legacy is carried forward with clarity and care. Thank you for your time, thank you for your attention, and thank you for letting us walk this journey with you.